Five Borough Wrestling fans, I am longtime independent wrestling fan Robert. Proving Ground 2018 was quite a show and great to see a big crowd compared to Driving Force last month. The action begins with Cyrus DeVille accompanied to the ring by the Deathmatch Asgardian Stockade as Cyrus defeated G. Raver. Next up, it was tag team action as we saw the Elements, Pyro Pulse, and Iceberg. They defeated, representing the Shook Crew, Max Caster and Bryce Donovan. After the match comes out, PJ Stackpole and Fource, Anthony Gangone, Bear Bronson, and AJ Spectre hit the ring. Stackpole takes the microphone, saying, "Last month, Gangone was robbed of the heavyweight championship. We demand somebody from management come out and make this right." Out comes general manager Ariella Nix. She's in the ring, and I forgot what she says, but all of a sudden, Gangone knocks her down. Stackpole tries to stop Gangone, but Gangone pushes Stackpole. Just as Gangone's ready to give Ariella a pile driver, out comes former Fource member Rex Lawless. He hits the ring, and that results in a match where Anthony Gangone defeated Rex Lawless thanks to PJ Stackpole. Then it was time for, we saw the Greek God Papadon and Bull James challenge the tag team champions AJ Spectre and Bear Bronson. AJ Spectre and Bear Bronson managed to defeat Papadon and Bull James to retain the tag team championship. Up next, we see, Alex Reynolds challenged JT Dunn for the heavyweight championship. A great back and forth matchup which saw JT Dunn defeat Alex Reynolds to retain the heavyweight championship. After the match ended... Oh, okay. Great, we paused. Oh, it paused. All right. Oh, sorry for that, folks. After the match ended, Fource comes out, and they're ready to go after... Dunn, but out comes Mike Verna with a chair, and Fource leaves the ringside area, and Verna ends up coming into the ring, places the championship belt on Dunn's shoulder, and leaves the ring. It was at that point they had gone off to intermission. The show resumes with the debut of the Dove Show with Orion Dove and Juba. Dove was trying to do some kind of a magic trick, and then he's playing the trumpet. But then eventually introduces his very first guest, Jaden Vallow. He comes out, and Dove's telling Vallow not to step on the carpet placed in the ring, and eventually Tyler Murphy comes out, takes hold of my megaphone. I forgot what he says to Dove and Juba, and they end up having a tag match right then and there, which saw Orion Dove and Juba defeat Jaden Vallow and Tyler Murphy after Juba did the damage to Vallow. And Orion managed to score the pin. Next up, the Deathmatch Asgardian Stockade was set to challenge Talent for the Wildcard Championship match. Just before the match got underway, it was announced that their match would be a chain match. And the chain was brought out, and they were hooked by the wrist by this chain. I expected a bigger or bigger chain or longer chain than they used. Talon ended up picking up the win as he defeated Stockade, and after the match, Stockade and Cyrus DeVille were seemingly arguing about something. And then the final match of the evening, we saw Martin Stone, formerly known as Danny Burch in NXT, take on the Man of Steel Mike Verna. During this match, there were these three guys in the crowd, kind of sitting diagonally from us, wearing Man of Heel t-shirts. Don't know how those babies were made. And they're basically having a virtual cream fest and creaming their pants over Martin Stone, wanting to see Mike Verna lose. Eventually, Stone and Verna each grab a chair. They come to the ring, but referee Rob Blatt stops them, saying, no, don't use those chairs. Instead, they open the chairs up, they sit down facing each other, they're having a slap fest. And eventually, Mike Verna put Martin Stone down for the count after a Death Valley driver. At that point, Stone and Verna shook hands after it was over, and then Fource comes running in the ring. They attack Verna, and then eventually out comes Five Borough Wrestling promoter Troy Thompson comes out. He's checking out, telling the guys to stop. He's checking on Verna. Eventually, Bear Bronson grabs Troy, gives him a Death Valley driver onto the two chairs that were still in the ring. And then out came Rex Lawless, the Elements, Papa Don, and Bull James, and Fource skedaddled out of Dodge. Now, personal notes time. It was great sitting with Mike Nicholas, Melissa, Nicole, Dalvin. Great seeing Andrew, Thomas, Kevin, John, Dom, Bill Parham, Jason, Daniel Murphy, who I hadn't seen in a long time at any shows. I gotta say, that cheeseburger, the cheeseburgers they have at the Most Precious Blood Youth Center, the one I had was huge. I'll definitely buy food from them again at their shows. And while I'm on the subject of their shows, Five Borough Wrestling returns on Friday night, June 15th, as they present the Four, not the Four Horsemen, the 4-year anniversary show. Now, based on what happened at Proving Ground, I'd like to see Fource, Anthony Gangone, the tag team champions, Bear Bronson and AJ Spectre, take on the Man of Steel, Mike Verna, and I don't know who his two partners could be, unless they bring people in to face them. Like to see maybe Cyrus DeVille get his wish against Bulldozer Matt Tremont, or see Cyrus DeVille one-on-one with the Devil's Outlaw Deathmatch as Guardian. I'd like to see, even though it's happened before, well, actually can't, sorry, not that. Wow. Don't know who I'd like to see JT Dunn defend a heavyweight title against. Damn. Well, I did enjoy this. This was another great show Five Borough Wrestling delivered. I wonder if any fans that used to go to the American Legion on Avenue N, if any of them are going to come around to ever come down to this new the Parish Youth Blood Center. I mean, it's only 3 blocks away from Bay 50th Street train station, and there's also a bus stopping right by the place. I forgot the bus number, but come on, I mean, sure it was a bigger crowd, and couldn't believe those kids from the baseball team. They basically seemingly took up most of the front row. We'll see if they come back in the future. But definitely can't wait for June 15th, 4-year anniversary.